Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Tech with Alex Baja. In this video, I'll walk you through the reasons why you should share knowledge or document your learning experiences by creating content. Let's get started. Now, one of the things you should take note of is that in the course of building a career, what is more important is the fact that you need to leverage on certain knowledge or skills that will help you to perform better as you make progress. And then one of those methods that can help you to perform better as you grow in your career is by documenting your experiences or certain knowledge you want to share with others or you want to keep for private lookup. Okay? Essence of writing or documenting experiences are what it. There is no joy in possession without sharing. Erasmus. Let's look at the reasons why you should document experiences. The first is sharing helps to concretize learning and leads to further discoveries. Now, you see, when you begin to write articles or create content, either podcast or on whatever social media platform or a blogging platform, what happens is that for every content you want to create, you have to do research, you have to try it out if it is a programming concept, and then by so doing, you'll be able to know more about that particular function. It could be design or project management, whatever it is you are trying to create content on. The more you document it, the more you write it, it will give you the privilege to know better, to know more about it, and then you'll be more solid in that knowledge. For example, as a software engineer, if you begin to write about certain functions in a particular programming language, the more you write about them, the more solid your knowledge in those particular functions become. Over time, you realize that you not really need to look up the documentation to really explain what it means to someone. So it helps to concretize learning. Leonard Nimoy says, the miracle is this: the more we share, the more we have. Personally, for me, when I share knowledge, it is another way to retain it. Now, the next is ease of lookup. What happens is that when you create content, maybe podcast or article or probably video-based content, what happens is that you can actually easily look it up in the future. If you want to make an easy job seem mighty hard, just keep putting off doing it willy-nilly. So what this does is that when you begin to create content, it facilitates the ease to look up something in the future. So there were times whereby I did authentication using a particular package in Laravel, and whenever I want to implement authentication in another Laravel application, all I need to do is just to look up that article, and then I'm even looking forward to creating video content on that particular article. So for example, that has been very helpful to me because I can easily look it up in the course of your career development. There are many things that you will come across again, and then so when you are handling them for the first time, or you are meeting them for the first time, or someone is recommending it to you for the first time, so once you are able to get your way through, the next thing to do is to document it so that you can easily look it up in the future. Common knowledge might be shared by many people, but no knowledge dangles unattached to any subject. Unlike water or gold, knowledge always belongs to someone. Jennifer Langer. The next is, it is an act of giving. If you ask people why they give, the readiest answers offer clues to the mystery. God wants me to. I feel better about myself. Others need it, and I want to share. It is only right. Deepak Chopra. Information can be given just like we do with money. When someone says, I need your help, I want to get something, and then I need a token to complete the payment, or I need you to help me get something from the market or get some certain gadgets, and then you go ahead to assist the person with that particular token and then whatever currency it is. That's how this information in document can be. So by giving it out, by documenting it for people to have access to it, it is also an act of giving, which means that when someone come across your article and it helps them to get something done, it means you have given something. So giving is not restricted to money alone. People who write, people who document, people who create content, either on podcast or YouTube or blogging platform, they are actually giving out something that is valuable, that can even make people to make money. I've seen people use certain series, certain contents to build their career, and they begin to earn from it. So documenting your experiences, either for personal or for public purposes, is also an act of giving. In honesty, sharing knowledge is a sign of gratitude, as W. Clement Stone rightly put it. If you are thankful, what do? You share. The next is exposure. When you create content, right? So for those who are interested, for those of us who are interested to document experiences or knowledge for the purpose of sharing it to the public, it brings about exposure. Now, say for example, I'm new to AI and I begin to explain Lematizer, and there is a concept I'm trying to explain. So when I do my research and I'm trying to explain that concept, there are people who have more experience in that particular concept I'm trying to explain. So when I explain it, they could now begin to comment, they could begin to share their ideas about it. And then when they do that, I'll begin to learn, I'll begin to see things from another perspective. And sometimes when I write those articles or when I create those content, somebody can just come and say, hey, that's not what it is. And this is the right way, this is this. So it brings about exposure. It makes someone to understand that there is more to what you know. In fact, there are many perspectives to what you are trying to explain. In fact, there is a possibility that what you are trying to explain is not solid, is not even the right information. So by so doing, you are exposed to know the correct information. Now, that is what exposure can do for you. I would recommend that even if you've not started writing before, you've not documented any experiences, or you are scared of creating content on YouTube, you just give it a try. Explain a concept. Somebody will come and say, hey, I don't like the way your glasses look. I don't like the way your shirt is. You need to smile. You need to do this. You need to do that. And so you are exposed to learning. You are making progress as you are documenting these experiences for public access. The next thing is time management. Once you have mastered time, you will understand how true it is that most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. And to mirror it, I recommend you check out my YouTube channel. There is a video I did on the principles of time management. Very solid. It has quality information. You don't want to miss out on it. Once you are done with this video, I would suggest you just go ahead and then click it and start watching it. What I realized is when you document experiences, it leads to time management, not just to the public, but for personal purposes too. So there are days whereby for example, I implement a package in an application I'm building, and I document how I was able to have my way through, how I was able to achieve implementing or integrating that package to that application. Now, when someone is asking about that same package in a particular group chat, in a developers community or whatever platform, I will just copy the link to the article and send. So that has saved me a couple of minutes that I would have used to explain to that person. Another way is that there are times where you need to go to an interview, and part of the requirement is that there is a particular tool or package that you used 2-3 years ago that is needed in that particular organization or company. So what you could do is, instead of you spending time trying to look for resources to go and read it again, you can just go straight to that article and then you read it. That will save you quite a number of minutes. And then when you have the need to share it with someone, it will also save you some minutes. And then sometimes the person who you share it to will also have the opportunity to share that same link to someone else. So that's how documenting, this is one of the major reasons why you should create content on your experiences or share knowledge. Now, one of the things that happen when I say create content or some of that is that people like, it takes time. How do I go about writing articles or creating content that people can have access, or writing posts on social media? You see, the time it takes you to do that is nothing compared to what it will cost you to explain to many persons. I have shared a link. In fact, there are some that I am not the one to share it. When people search for it on Google search engine, those articles pop up on their timeline. And then so imagine if I have to explain to every bit of these persons, compared to maybe a day or 2 or 3, I'm able to come up with that article. Over time, it will save me more than 3 days. So the stress or the challenges that you will go through to publish or create a content is nothing compared to the benefits of creating it. So if it will take you days or weeks to create the content, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be of benefit to you more than 3 days or a week or a month in the future. The next is, in documenting, it brings about opportunities. So there are times whereby a company will reach out to me via email and say, hey, we saw what you did with our tool on a particular blogging platform, and we intend to give you some credits for showing how to use our tool on your platform, because I think they have tools they use to monitor where certain clicks are coming out from. So I write an article and I'm like, okay, if you want to do this, there is this particular free tool, an open source you can use, or there is this company that have this particular product you can integrate. And then if you want to upgrade to a paid plan or to a premium service, this is what you should do. When people click those links and it take them to those platforms, they are actually seeing where those clicks are coming from. So they can reach out and say, hey, we like what you do. And then sometimes a company can reach out to you and say, well, I think you can come be a technical writer for us. You can come do content creation for us because of what we've seen you doing. So documenting your experiences or sharing knowledge brings about opportunity. It can bring offer. It can connect you to jobs beyond your region. It can increase your network. When people see what you do, there are times where I've gone to an event, I'm like, this is my name. They'll be like, oh, so you're the one who used to share articles on so platform. You're the one who creates content. Nice meeting you. So it begins to grow your network. And then sometimes part of this opportunity is that someone is seeing that you are writing content on a particular programming language. Anywhere they see it, and it's like, oh, we need a developer who knows how to do XYZ. The first thing that will come to the person's mind is, oh, I think I have this fellow who creates content around this. So let me just share this opportunity with the person if probably it could be of help to the person. That's what documenting of knowledge or experiences can bring. It can bring about visibility. There are regions I have not been to before. Someone reach out and say, hey, Raf, hey, I saw your article and I was trying to complete my research work and then it was very helpful. In fact, there is one of the article I wrote on object-oriented programming. It was a series. It has been cited in several research work. And I don't know those people, sincerely. But then my name has gone beyond where I am because I have been able to create content for public access. So you want to consider this reason and then give it a try to create content or share your experiences. The next is that it enhances the ability to put thoughts together and be more organized. Organization isn't about perfection, it's about efficiency, reducing stress and clutter, saving time and money, and improving your overall quality of life. Christina Scalise. When I begin documenting knowledge and sharing my experiences, one of the things that is of benefit is that answering questions like, where do I start from? What is the title? What will be the design? What will be the thumbnail? How will I flow? What will be the conclusion? Over time, I realized that it makes me to be more organized. It helps me to put my thoughts together. So what now happens is, the more I do it, the more I become organized. If I want to engage in a project now, the first thing I will do is, what do you want to achieve? And then I begin to arrange it in a particular order. So in creating and documenting experiences or sharing knowledge, it will help you to be organized. When you publish an article or probably a blog post on social media, you have to read and then you have to think, you have to plan. You'll be like, okay, what am I trying to say? Is this information useful to the public? How can I get what I want to say across to the reader, across to the audience? So by so doing, over time, you become very organized. And I'm pretty sure that if you try out writing or creating content, you will see how wonderful this reason can be. For every minute spent in organizing, an hour is earned. Benjamin Franklin. You see, one of the things that help individuals while they are growing in their career is how much they can plan and how much they can organize themselves. By documenting your experiences or sharing knowledge, it will help you to be organized because you will answer a couple of questions before you arrive at a particular content you want to share with the public. Now, what happened is, over time, I realized that the more content you create, the more organized you become, the more simple you become, the more you are able to put your thoughts together. You see, there are days whereby I start an article and the first is just the bare bones, like just a scratch article, is not organized, and then I continue until I have the final article. What I noticed over time is that because it takes a day, 2, 3 for me to come up with an article or a content and publish it, I now realize that the first time a thought drops in my mind, it is not ready for either for me to say it out or for me to act on it. I need to process it and then ask some questions, plan it, organize it. So, but then because I've been used to it, that would happen within a very short time. Just customers like, okay, I think I need to start learning machine learning, and then like a thought, So the first thing that will come to my mind because I create content is, where do I start from? How do I get the content? And then what next do I do? Who should I ask? How do I get a mentor? How do I subscribe to something? And then over time, and then by so doing, I'm able to have a very organized way to learn it. And within a very short time, I'm already into it. Now, you see on my YouTube channel, there's a video I published about how I will go about relearning programming languages I already know, or if I want to learn a new one. Because in life, you must learn how to learn, relearn, and unlearn. What you think you know may have changed. What you think you know, there are different perspectives to what you know. So the next is by documenting experiences or sharing knowledge, either for private access or public access, it will outlive one's existence. I have seen articles that were written in 1850, 1950, far back. Those people don't even know that there is someone who's going to read it. Imagine, for example, Proverbs written by Solomon, and then there is a wealthy man called John D. Rockefeller. I read about him. People document these things about how he was born, and then his experiences. Cornelius Vanderbilt, Abraham Lincoln, like these great people who have lived. They wrote books, they wrote articles, and by so doing, they've outlived their existence. Some of them, when I say, I can even say I've seen an article about something that happened in 1620 that someone wrote. 1620 is about 400 years ago. And that's a lot of time. But then these people who document these experiences till now, their names are still being heard. So you want to give it a try, because if you document your experiences, you share knowledge, it's gonna outlive your existence. You cannot spend, I think most people spend 100 or 120, but then imagine at this century or at this dispensation, I am still aware of certain persons who have lived hundreds and thousands of years because of the experiences that they document. Share knowledge. It is a way to achieve immortality. His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Finally, so the thing you need to take note of is, this is an expression of what has been very helpful to me, because I've seen persons asking, "Hey Ralph, how do you get to do this? How do you get to achieve that?" The simple secret is document your experiences or share knowledge. It must not be 5 minutes article. It must not be 1 hour video or 2 hours podcast. It could be a simple blog post. You just learn a function, or you just implemented a function, or you just learn an algorithm. You just go on social media, any of the social media too, and you like, this is this, and you comment it there. Anytime you need it, you just go back there and look it up. If you understand what it means to document experiences or share knowledge, you will really realize that it is an advantage, because there are times whereby I just have to look up something from the point I've shared with you so far. There are times whereby maybe I'm building a project, or I'm working on an application, I'm just writing codes. There is a tendency that I've done that thing before. All I need to do is to just go and look it up. And most times I have an article, especially something that is challenging. Once something is challenging, or once there is no sufficient information on the internet that can guide a user, I would just start writing an article on it. There was a time where I was trying to sort the deployment of Laravel on GCP or Google Cloud Platform. So I ended up writing an article on how to host a Laravel application on Google App Engine and then Cloud Run. I am telling you, since I did that article, there are people who have used it that I don't know. There are blogging platforms, keep on seeing people engaging it. And even myself, there are times where I have to refer back to the article. So this is just what it looks like. And then, so I would recommend, if this is your first time, or you are wondering what it looks like to create content, or to share experiences, or document your knowledge for other people to learn from it, I would recommend you give it a try. So saying that you should create content, or you should document your experiences or share knowledge, does not mean that you just share something haphazardly, or you share something that is of no benefit to anyone. But then it's just saying that there is something you have, there's something you've got, there's a knowledge, there's an experience that can be helpful to you in the future, or helpful to someone else that you really may not even need to get to know or to get to meet over time. We are all content creators because we've got something to share or learn from anytime, anywhere. There's so much impact that can be made in our personal and communal growth if we document or share quality and resourceful articles and thoughts. I'll be sharing with you quality information on how to write articles, on how to create content. In my previous video, I actually demonstrated how to import your articles from any blog to Medium. So in the subsequent videos, I'm going to show you some of these tips that I use. When that's been said, let me know what other reasons that have made you to document your experiences or share knowledge in the comment section. If this is your first time, let me know if it was helpful to you. Don't forget to like the video, click the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so that when I have my next video uploaded, you'll be notified. Bye.